let's talk about confidence. If you're watching this, you're likely a teenager. You're probably in high school, college, whatever. You're pretty much a young person if you're watching this, right? And you want to know how is it that you can improve your confidence levels, your self-esteem, your self-worth, how you can start believing in yourself. Now, I'm not gonna lie, bro. When I was slightly younger, like when I was 15, 16, I also struggled heavily with this confidence thing. And I really thought I didn't think much of it in a metaphysical sense. I thought more of it in a physical sense. Like if I could get others to believe that I was confident, then maybe I would believe someday that I am confident too. Like if I got others to think that I was big and strong and charismatic, then I thought that would naturally translate over to in my real psyche, and I would start to think that I was big and strong and charismatic. So what happened was that I started to binge watch body language analysis videos. You have those Peaky Blinders, Tommy Shelby body language analysis videos. I started to watch a shit ton of those videos because I thought that was the only way of achieving real lasting confidence. And I continued this for a long period of time. I'm talking like I started this probably like when I was in high school, and I still used to do it last year. So like I had my ideas all over the place. I didn't know what the fuck it was. It's only until recently until I did a lot of trials and errors and finally figured out what actual confidence is. And I'll give it to you, but just listen to me. Like, be patient. The thing is, if you're not confident right now, it's not even your fault, because you have literally not even been taught how to be confident. Like your parents, your society, your school, those teachers that you have, they tell you that confidence is key, that confidence, you should be confident, you should be this, you should be that. But they don't actually tell you how the fuck to be confident or how the fuck to believe in yourself. Like, you relate to what I'm saying. So, like, I find it pretty stupid. You told me that I should be confident, but you're not even telling me how do I become confident. So of course, the natural response for us is to, yes, okay, so there is this idea of confidence, that I want to be confident, but I don't know how to be confident. So I guess I'll just go ahead and figure it out myself. And majority of us, we don't know what the fuck confidence is, bro. And let me give you an example. Suppose there are two guys, Fred and Lucas. I give this example in my full confidence guide. It's linked down in the description below. If you wanna, if you are completely new to this and you wanna figure it out from A to Z, I've broken it down in in a very teenage like style, so you can understand what I'm trying to say. It's linked down below, so you should definitely go check it out. But this is this is one of the examples from there. So imagine there are two guys. There is Fred and there is Lucas, and both of them are at a party. If you're in a college, or you go to parties and whatnot. So there is a party, not like I do, because I don't live in the US, and I think that's pretty, going to parties and drinking, and I think that's pretty degenerate. But let's say you are. Let's say there are two guys that what am I getting at? So there's two guys. So there's two guys. There's the Fred, and then there's the Lucas, and then there's the Lucas. Suppose these two guys are at a party, and suppose that Fred is, Lucas is, drinking, is dancing, and he's traditionally fuckboy like. And suppose that Fred is at the corner. He's, awkward with drink in his hand, and he doesn't know what the fuck to do with it. Suppose this is the scenario that we have. Which one would you say is more confident? Like, don't bullshit yourself. Just give me a word. Which one would you say is more confident? Obviously Lucas, right? He's the one, seemingly confident. He's, dancing, he's singing, he's, drinking. He seems confident, right? Now let's flip the scenario a bit. Let's say that instead of this scenario, they are both in a weightlifting competition, and let's say that Fred is a person who has years of experience in weightlifting, but Lucas has none. And suppose that we put both of these guys into a weightlifting competition. Yeah, it might sound stupid, like why would you go into a a weightlifting competition if you have no experience? But like, fucking follow the example, right? Let's say that Fred is at a gym and he's weightlifting and he has years of experience, and Lucas just walks in. He's a complete beginner. Which one do you think is more confident in this situation? Obviously, Fred, right? Because what we're doing is not actually what we're doing is not actually comparing the level of confidence these both individuals have. What we're actually doing is comparing the level of competence they have in that giving skill. Like previously it was social skills, because these two guys were at a party and they were dancing and shit, and they were trying to talk to people, and they were in a social environment. And now it just happens to be weightlifting. So by default, like, what I wanted to show to you with this example is that by default we don't even judge confidence on what it actually is. We don't, because we don't even know what it is. We're basically judging the level of competence a person has in a given skill. That's literally what we're subconsciously doing. We don't fucking even know what confidence is. So what actually is confidence? I've never actually defined what confidence is. I know I have it. I know I'm very confident. But I don't know how I would, put it into a definition, and to a textbook definition. Let me think about it. If you are, if you are reading a book, or if you are writing an essay, or if you are doing an assignment, or if you are doing a project, if you are doing something that you have spent a lot of time in, and that you invested a lot in, let's say, it could be anything that you're interested in, right? When you're doing that thing and you are about to finish doing that task, you suddenly get this, those final few moments of when you are about to finish that task, when you are about to do it, but you haven't actually done it yet, because there's a few minutes left, and there's maybe a line left, or maybe there is something left, but you are about to finish it. That that juncture between when you are done finishing it and when you have finished it, that period in time, that's basically confidence. It's basically that energy of, yeah man, this is easy, I got this, just I'm just about to do it. That's what actually confidence is. That you don't even that you're about to do this. If I wanted to put into a feeling, and in a way that you understand it, that's basically how I would put it. It's basically that's this, yeah, I got this, that type of energy. So that's basically what actual confidence is. Now, yes, there are a lot of misconceptions, like how would you get this in everyday life, and how does it relate to your self belief and all that. We're gonna go deeper into that, because it's a very nuanced topic, and it has a lot of misconceptions around it, and we're gonna slowly clear it up. I'm not gonna do it all in this video, because it's a big topic. I can't give you everything here, but I have made a full guide on confidence, and if you want it, you can there is a link in the description below. Like, I teach you everything there. But regardless, so as I was saying, let's start talking about what confidence is, right? It's crazy, because none of us have ever been taught what confidence is. Like, if there was isn't it crazy, like how we all go to school and shit, right? We study, but none of us are taught how to do important things in life, like maintain social relations, or be confident, or have a good sleep, have a good nighttime routine, or some shit like that. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Like, none of us are taught how to actually live a good life, which is kind of crazy, right? Because when we go to school, and when we look to the elders, that when we are young, we expect that they would want the best for us, but that doesn't seem like that's the case. Because if it was, then you would have taught me how to live a good life, like how to be confident, how to make money, how to how to do XYZ, how to live a good life, basically. And if you are not confident right now, I get you, bro. I've been there. I feel exactly what you're feeling. I feel exactly what you feel right now. I can empathize with you right now. And it feels like kind of a hard spot to be in, because you see all these people, you are on social media, you are on Instagram, and you see all these people they all look confident, they all look like they got their shit together. But trust me, bro, that's probably the first step I can give you right now, that you should not be on social media. Because social media is basically, people would just basically want to show you the best version of themselves, right? Why the fuck would anybody want to show you how shitty their life is, right? That's not gonna happen. You wouldn't want to do that either. So get off social media, because basically social media is gonna, it's gonna distort your perception of reality. Like, you're gonna think that, and obviously it implants beliefs in you, right? I talk about it in my guide. But it's, social media is, I don't think anybody should scroll mindlessly for hours. Like, it's not something that, because like I said, it's that people obviously would want to show you their best version of themselves. Nobody would want to show you how heartbroken they are, or how depressed they are, or how much sleep deprived they are. Nobody would want to show you that, right? But they would want to show you that I got this, I achieved this, I got this award at my school, I got, I don't know, I made this, I did XYZ, I did this internship. Like, that's the shit that they would want to show you. So it makes sense for you. Does it make sense for you to compare yourself? And because that's subconsciously what we're doing. We're always comparing ourselves to other people. So does it really make sense for you to compare yourself with somebody who just wants to show you the best side of their life? Not really. Like, that's kind of retarded, actually. So yes, if you the first thing, that the most basic piece of advice I can give you right now is just get the fuck off social media. Because when you get off social media, you start to kind of detox your mind. You kind of start to think more clearly. You get more clarity. You start to plant the seeds on which you will build your confidence. But as long as you have social media, and as long as you keep scrolling and look at what other people are doing, like, you're not gonna make any progress. You're gonna go back to square one in no time. So that's the first step. Stop using social media. I know you have been, and I know a lot of you might. I certainly had this excuse that sometimes you find something useful on social media, something informative, something educational on social media. Bro, the trade-off is just not worth it. Like, 5 hours of doom scrolling just to find one or two reels that maybe resonate with you, or maybe educate you about a topic. It's just not worth it, the effort. Because 5 hours per day, it's like I don't know, it's like 6-7 years per lifetime, right? So you literally waste 6 to 7 years of your lifetime. I don't know the math behind this, but 6 to 7 years, that's a lot. Like, 6 to 7 years just scrolling on, that's crazy, bro. You gotta think about it, because time compounds. Whatever you do in this moment, even if you do it for 5 minutes every day, that's gonna turn into months and years over a lifetime, right? So you can't just, you have to think about what you're doing. You can't just freestyle it. So yes, get off social media, stop, and just in general, stop comparing yourself to other people. And if there are people that add that kind of energy to your life, that that make you feel slightly less of yourself, then yes, cut those people off too. The point is, the enemy is not just social media, it's anything that takes your confidence away from you. Like, if your friends are assholes and they always make fun of you, or they leave you out, or those kind of friends that some people have, then cut those friends off. If you have teachers or you have family members that mock you and take away from your confidence, then just fucking distance yourself from them. The point is to put yourself first, because you are the one who matters to you first. They don't matter to you, and your friends don't matter to you before yourself. Your teachers, your family, your parents, they don't matter as much as you do to yourself. So for whatever reason, if they are hurting your confidence levels, and they are they make you think of yourself less, then cut those people. I would say cut those people off, but you can cut off your family members and teachers and your co-workers, because you have to literally interact with them. So I would say just set boundaries and just distance yourself from them. Because that's gonna help you immensely, bro, trust me. That brings me to one point, that social relations are very, very important for confidence. because the people that have the people that are the most confident actually have very good social relations. Why is that? Now there is actually a deeper psychology behind this, and there is there is more to this than just what I'll explain here, because it's a very it's a very nuanced topic, and it's different for everyone, and depends on your experiences. But in general, like, if you are around good people, if you are around supportive people, yes, you would have a higher level of confidence generally. Why is that? Because when you are consistently around people that make you feel good about yourself, that make you believe that you are the shit, make you believe that you are you are worthy, then your brain naturally starts to adjust to that, and your brain naturally starts to believe just those things. And that is why you see that the children who grew up in household where they had loving family members, and they had good teachers, and they had a very nurturing loving household, they just grow up to be more confident, and more they just grow up to have a higher level of self-esteem. You probably know people who are like this, right? And if you are watching this, right, you say you label yourself as slightly as having lower confidence levels, right? You probably have a household which had a lot of a lot of maybe a lot of fighting between your parents, and maybe many uncertainties. Maybe you have gone through abuse as a child. you know some people do, unfortunately. That can really affect a lot of how you view yourself, because our childhood is essentially the most important. mm, like, our childhood is, how do I explain this, bro? Our childhood is basically the most important time of our life, because whatever beliefs you have planted in your childhood, they basically become the building blocks for the rest of your life. So if you implant a belief in yourself that money is bad in your childhood, because your parents and people around you are consistently shitting on money, then obviously when you grow up, you are gonna work a job, and maybe whatever money you get, you're gonna blow it off. You subconsciously, that money is evil, but in reality, you can't even name it, because you don't even know you have these beliefs inside of you. So see what I'm getting at? So the beliefs that you have in childhood basically determine what kind of a person you become in your adult life, if you don't deal with those beliefs. That's the takeaway, because obviously you can deal with those beliefs, but it just takes a lot of hard work, and a lot of self reflection, and a lot of journaling. It takes a shit ton of hard work to figure out what actually your childhood was like, and how to get over it. But like I was saying, that childhood basically is a very important period in your life. That's why if like I was saying, that if you feel like you have a lower sense of confidence, then you likely had a household or a environment which was not very supportive of you, right? Maybe you can relate, or maybe I know most of you can relate, because I certainly do, and most of the people who say that they lack confidence certainly do relate to this. That's interesting. But regardless, I think that's enough for this video. I have a full guide on confidence, like I said, it's down in the description below. Interesting. Whenever I think about these things, and confidence, and self-reflection, and childhood, and whatnot, I start to get so many thoughts and so many ideas, and I start to literally reflect on myself as well, in real time. Like, you are watching me be quiet right now, I'm literally reflecting, self-reflecting in real time. Interesting. I sound like a villain. Interesting. Okay, anyway, I'll see you in the next video.